they're consuming taxpayer dollars. Those jobs are paid for by the American tax people who work real jobs, earn real income, pay federal taxes, and then pay these federal employees. Federal employees do not deserve their paychecks.
She's 100% correct.
100% correct.
100. If I could give more than that, we'll give her more than that.
You can protest all you want outside of departments of this government. You can protest all you want, but the American people disagree with you. You're protecting the bureaucracy. The bureaucracy is not a business. Those are not real jobs producing federal revenue. By the way, they're consuming taxpayer dollars. Those jobs are paid for by the American tax people who work real jobs, earn real income, pay federal taxes, and then pay these federal employees. Federal employees do not deserve their jobs. Federal employees do not deserve their paychecks. And these are jobs that can be fired at will.
All right, what's your point, young lady?
She's 100% correct.
100% correct.
100. If I could give more than that, we'll give her more than that. Whatever percentage you can give her.
So she says emphatically, federal employees do not deserve their jobs. And you say she is 100% correct.
Yes. Because unlike people with, Trump derangement, I have discernment and I understood the context that she was saying. So what she's saying is that, no, these people do not deserve their checks, or should we say they are not entitled? Maybe that helps. Okay. They're not entitled to their checks. So they feel like they're entitled to their jobs. Nobody can fire them. They're entitled to, continuously get paid. And we all know that they don't have like like they have in the private sector. They don't have a performance-based job. Like they can be doing a crappy job and they still get paid. That doesn't work anywhere else, right? And especially when you look at it to where they're not bringing in any revenue. So now you get to be a crappy employee and I have to pay more in taxes to pay you as the cost of living goes up. You bring in no revenue, you bring in no value. What are you here for?
They're there for camaraderie. They're there to show love to fellow employees. They're there to help build the machine that we call the federal government.
You finish? Or you not?
Okay, I will say this. I do realize that a lot of federal government employees waste a lot of their time. It's very difficult to be fired. A lot of federal government employees know that, so they take advantage of the system. I was one for 17 years, and I was an a-hole, but I worked my tail off too. But I did, a lot of my fellow co-workers, they knew that they was covered under the guise of that big old protection of our government. So they didn't really work at the same level. Also, I know a bunch of people who work for the federal government now, work from home mostly, and the entire time they're home, they're working another job full time, or they're running their business, or they're on a trip, and they never even let their supervisors know. And they respond to emails sparingly. So I guess if you look at it under that scope, I will fire them and I will be pissed off too. And I will want them to confirm that they're actually doing what they're being paid to do. So yeah, but would I say that they don't deserve their jobs? Why did you hire them if they didn't deserve their jobs? Are you saying they never should have been hired?
You didn't. Yeah.
You saying they never should have been hired?
I would assure you 70% of the federal government should have not been hired.
70%?
Yeah.
You said, hold on, wait a minute. You
said
you
get down, okay. Like you get down into these, you get down into these agencies, right? And they'll have, a department that does this, a department that does that. Maybe I'll give it to 5 to 10 departments that actually do something. And then there's like 40, 50 other departments that don't do anything. Oh, you got to send an email to this person. That person sends an email to this person to get back to this person. Just walk the paper down the block. Just walk the paper down the steps. Like, why are we using so many people to do a job that one person can do? And then on top of that, if you look at it globally, the United States federal government is the 15th globally biggest employer.
Okay. All right. They have 2 million
A
employees.
government.
Yeah.
So if all the people go broke today, then what?
Okay. You're absolutely right. But let me throw this at you, okay? Because we're looking at the amount of employees that the federal government currently employ. But they are also probably the biggest corporation that I can name. I don't know if maybe you can name a bigger one, but I don't know of any other corporations that's worth 33 trillion and is pretty much the powerhouse of the entire world.
They're not worth 33 trillion.
I know they're not worth
spending 33 trillion.
Yeah, they're spending the money.
Absolutely no money.
I know.
So that's a bad corporation. How does a corporation run for how long?
Well, first of all, let me just stop you right quick. You cannot the rules. I don't know if I read you the rules, but the rules are you cannot cook me over here. You're not supposed to. So we have been helping people grow online. It has been absolutely amazing. We have helped many content creators get from zero to monetization in under 30 days. We even have a couple of these superstars who did it in 1 or 2 weeks. If you want to learn how to do YouTube, I don't care your age, I don't care what skills or talents you have. Trust me, I can help you do it effortlessly. Just reach out to me with the word coach and we can get it done. One more thing. We have a YouTube course that I just now created. I'm extremely proud of, and a lot of people are getting so much from. Purchase that course and work with us. You can join our private Facebook group and our daily group calls, which is 3 to 5 days per week, and you can learn so much more than you've ever learned before. I can't wait to hear from you. Love you. Peace. You're not supposed to.
I heard you yesterday. I'm not arguing with women.
Nah, I don't argue with women. I don't argue with women at all. But I will say this though. Let me so I can feel a little bit smart. I need to put on my glasses. These probably give me some extra powers or something while I'm talking to you. Now you're making a whole lot of sense, and what MTG said was right. Okay, I give you that. A lot of these federal employees aren't helping the government make any money, but they are helping them create patents. They are helping their facilities stay open and operational and functional, because that's a lot of them are hired to make sure that the machines still run. Like most of these people might have big titles, might have big paychecks, but the majority of their work is mechanical. They have to make sure that the machine is running and moving so that people can get the services that we offer, get the protection that we promise to the entire world. Like, for instance, when I worked at an Army Research Laboratory, my job was chemicals and hazardous waste. I didn't help the government make money, but what I did do, I helped the chemists, the scientists, the engineers, and all those guys get everything that they needed to create the patents that will eventually help our armed services. So when you look at it that way, it's a whole bunch of pieces that are put into place to make sure that our machine runs properly. Are they helping us make money? No, because we never treated the federal government like a business that makes money. I mean, we acknowledge that that's what we want to do. We don't, go ahead.
No, you're right. You're right on that front. No, we never did this. That's why it doesn't need to be that big. That's why the founding fathers didn't want it to be that big. One, they didn't want it to be robust because of the simple fact that the bigger the government gets, the smaller the people get.
Okay, the bigger the government.
yes, the bigger the government gets, the smaller the people get. We outnumber them in numbers, but when it comes to power and connections, the bigger that government gets, the smaller the people get, which means they're going to start, writing certain things to override the Constitution, override this or that. You have people that believe statutes, override the law of the land. It's just when you get into that territory
I got
of
the
having a
email.
large government, it can affect everything else. But to go to your point of those people being there, you don't need everybody there. You don't need everybody there, right? When you get into most of these agencies, they're just paper pushers.
They are. There's a whole lot of paper pushers. You're absolutely. Yeah, it's a whole lot of paper pushers, and they all act like they're super busy at all times, but none of them. I would say most of them. The one thing, 70%, probably 80% of the federal government don't do anything that add money to the federal government. They're just told that this is your job and this is how this helps, and they have meeting on top of a meeting to say this is how your job help our mission, and this is what our mission is, and all these things.
Correct. And look at the government. What is it called? The Government Accountability Office.
Right.
You wouldn't even need a Doge if they did their job. What are they doing?
I did tell you earlier.
What are they holding accountable? They have tons of people that are there. I mean, all the way from the lowest man on the totem pole, he can go hold somebody accountable because he has access to this. I've yet to see it.
You're right, but one thing I don't want to see the federal government turn into is like the modern day supermarket. You go into the modern day supermarket,
What is that?
there's no help on the floor. There's no help at the register. They're just staring at you while you do all of the work, ringing your own stuff up, being yelled at by a machine. Because
have you ever called an unemployment office or the DMV?
Yes, and there's nobody available. I get so. Listen, I'm shooting myself in the foot. Okay, whatever.
Well, first of all, if they're not answering after 2 times requested, are they dead? I mean, remember, no one's ever tested it. I mean, it's not unreasonable to say, look, you work for the federal government. Here's the email we have on record for you. We've requested a response, and you haven't answered twice. I mean, what's wrong with that? The rational person would say, yeah, this is not okay. And
they're being told not to respond by some of their employers, though. Does that make a difference?
No, it doesn't. I don't think that many people are that worried about this because no one's ever tested this before. You've got billions of dollars going out to hundreds of people, thousands, tens of thousands of people, and nobody knows if they're A, alive, B, working, where are they, what are they doing? There's nothing wrong with this request. In the private sector, I do this every day. I ask, what are you doing? Where are you? I mean, are you alive? This is not unreasonable. The average person doesn't think this is unreasonable. So at the end of the day, okay, Elon Musk is controversial. I got it. And this whole Doge things, it's come on the scene and it's very electric and controversial. I got it. But if you're not working and nobody can contact you, what's wrong with asking? I see no wrong. I see no problem with this.
All right. So, any thoughts on that, young lady?
Yeah. Again, I agree 100%. I agree 100%. This happens. This is the private sector. Like, they want to know what you're doing. They want to know what you're doing. And if you're not adding value, you got to go.
I think they do want to know what they're doing. I mean, what federal employees are doing, but I also think that they're setting them up to fail. I think that they're asking them to write an email of things that they've done this week just so they can receive something to judge so that they can say what you're doing is not good enough. I'm good enough. But
everybody else would get put on a PIP. Why can't they?
I agree. I agree. I don't mind the email, bro. I'm just saying.
Y'all know y'all's friends are at home with the mouse toggler. And it's just going like this.
And they're not answering emails or anything
the
like
mouse
that.
is going like this so the computer can stay up. That's what it's doing while they're out shopping.
And they're making sure that they're only available for meetings that they have to have on Teams. I get it. Or Zoom.
That they don't even came up for.
That they never came up for. Ever.
I know.
Yeah, because they don't want you to see where they are. They're just logging in. Oops, quiet.